Artificial sweeteners are good for our health or not? Let's try to understand this through data and research which has been done on this topic so far. There are broadly 5 varieties of artificial sweeteners which are available in the market right now. And these artificial sweeteners are sucralose, aspartame, ASK, stevia, and monk fruit sweetener. If you compare their sweetness with respect to sugar, these are 100 to 600 times sweeter than your regular sugar. And when we look in terms of the use case of each of these artificial sweeteners, sucralose is used the most and has almost 40% market share, followed by aspartame, which is 20%, then ASK, which is 10%, 5% is stevia, and roughly 2% is monk fruit sweetener. Sucralose is used in Diet Pepsi, aspartame is used in Diet Coke, Pepsi Zero, ASK is used in Coke Zero, it is used in Monster Energy and Vitamin Water Zero. Stevia is used in Truvia, Xavia, Hello Top ice creams. And monk fruit sweeteners is used in Lakanto, monk fruit in the raw. Now, if you have tasted Diet Coke and Coke Zero before, you will realize now why their taste vary so much. So the next question which comes to our mind is, how are each of these various sweeteners manufactured? Because for sugar, we know it comes from sugar cane, and there is a manufacturing process after which we get jaggery, brown sugar, and white sugar. But how is sucralose and other sweeteners prepared? When it comes to sucralose, it is basically a modified version of sucrose, the sucrose that you get from sugar. What is done is 3 hydroxyl groups in sucrose is replaced with chlorine. Where does the sucrose comes from? It comes from sugar. Where does the chlorine comes from? It comes from your salt, sodium chloride. In case of aspartame, aspartic acid and phenylalanine are fermented, chemically bonded, and purified to form a sweetener. Now, aspartic acid comes from fermentation of carbohydrates like glucose and starch using bacteria, and phenylalanine is produced by fermenting sugar sources like glucose starch using genetically modified E. coli. ASK is manufactured using acetoacetic acid, and derivatives are synthesized chemically and reacted with potassium hydroxide. Where does acetoacetic acid comes from? It comes from petroleum and natural gas, and potassium hydroxide is produced by electrolysis of potassium chloride. Stevia sweetener is essentially extracted from stevia plant using water or alcoholic solvents, and monk fruit sweetener is also manufactured from monk fruit itself by crushing the fruit, dehydrating the fruit, filtering, and purification. So the next question which comes to our mind is, aren't these chemicals harmful for our health? The short answer to the question is no, if you're consuming it under safe limits. For example, the entire process from sugarcane juice to your table sugar, which is your white sugar or brown sugar, involves the usage of a bunch of chemicals. For example, lime, which is calcium hydroxide, is used to precipitate impurities. Sulfur dioxide is passed through the juice to bleach it and to maintain a certain pH value. And then there are activated carbons which are used to give you that white color. Hexane is used in preparing the refined cooking oils which are being used in your kitchen. The salt that you're using in your food is sodium chloride. It's a chemical. The color which is added in your cold drink is also a chemical. Oreo and vanilla flavored desserts that you are consuming also contains chemicals. Your Maggi has chemicals. Your Lindt dark chocolate has chemicals. The food which is grown in farms also has chemicals because they use fertilizers. So the point that I'm making here is that chemicals are safe to use when they are consumed in safe limits. So how is this safe limit defined? There are bodies like FAO, WHO, Joint Expert Committee on Food Additives. There is European Food Safety Authority. There is US Food and Drug Administration. There is Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. There is Codex Alimentaris Commission. There is Health Canada. There is Japan Food Safety Commission. There is Australian New Zealand Food Standards Code, who define the safe limits of these chemicals which are being used in manufacturing. These are the organizations which define the acceptable daily intake for each of these various chemicals. And this is done via a 6-step process. Step number 1 is where a toxicological study is conducted. These studies are conducted on animals, usually rodents, to test these chemicals for potential acute, subchronic, and chronic toxicity. These tests identify harmful effects like cancer, reproductive toxicity, or organ damage. The next step is where NOAEL value is found out. NOAEL stands for No Observed Adverse Effect Level. This is the maximum dosage at which there was no harmful effect seen on these animals. For example, if rodents were able to tolerate 50 milligram per kg per day without any harmful effects, that becomes your NOEL value. Now, the third step is where a safety factor is applied. Now, rodents are very, very different from humans. So here a factor of 100 is applied. So the NOEL value is divided by 100. So if it was 50 milligram per kg per day for rodents, so the ADI for humans will become 0.5 milligram per kg per day. In step 4, any of the human trials conducted are considered as a supplement data to the animal research already done. In step number 5, these regulatory agencies try and figure out the cumulative exposure which is coming in on one person via all kind of foods and drinks to ensure that the cumulative exposure stays below ADI. In step number 6, these ADI values are reassessed every now and then when a new research emerges. So if we look at each of these artificial sweeteners, there have been total of 80 plus animal studies conducted on sucralose, 30 plus studies conducted on human beings. For aspartame, it is 100 plus for animal, 70 plus studies on human. For ASK, it is 30 plus on animals, 50 plus studies on humans. For stevia, it is 20 plus on animals, 40 plus on humans. For monk fruit, it is 10 plus on animals, 5 plus on humans. And the ADI for each of these sweeteners has been defined as 5 milligram per kg body weight per day for sucralose, 40 for aspartame, 15 for ASK, 4 for stevia. And there is no limit defined as such on monk fruit. It is generally considered as safe. So depending on the kind of sweetener used in the diet soda that you're consuming, it is perfectly safe to have anywhere between 5 to 20 cans per day. And I'm sure most of us are not consuming in those quantities. So artificial sweeteners are good if it is helping you reduce your sugar intake. Artificial sweeteners are good if it is helping you transition from lot of sugary drinks to plain simple water. Artificial sweeteners are good if it is helping you control your blood sugar levels. Artificial sweeteners are good if it is helping you reduce your body weight by creating that calorie deficit and then giving you a lot of health benefits because of the weight loss. There are studies to back this up that people who chose diet soda over regular soda ended up losing weight, not because of anything magical in artificial sweetener, but because they were able to create that calorie deficit. Personally, whenever I'm eating outside, I always opt for diet soda. That helps me enjoy that meal so much better while helping me stay within my calorie limits. Hoping this helps. This is Vivek signing off. Like, subscribe, share, and take care.